Hello students, in this video let us discuss about the third electronic effect, that is hyperconjugation. In previous videos we have finished that inductive effect and resonance mesomeric effect, aromaticity. Okay, so now here hyperconjugation, or also called as a Becker-Nathan effect, or also called as a no bond resonance, and another name is sigma p resonance. Okay, sigma p resonance. So in an inductive effect, the sigma bonding electrons moving towards more electronegative atom. Okay, in a inductive effect generally that is only working through the sigma bonds. Inductive effect is working through the sigma bonds only. Means the moment of the sigma electrons towards more electronegative atom, as a result the molecule get the polarization. Molecule get the polarized, nothing but inductive effect, that is working through the only sigma bonds. There is no delocalization of the electrons. But in a resonance, there is a delocalization of the electrons. There is a delocalization of the electrons. That means pi electrons. Okay, so it is working through the pi bonds only, not sigma bonds. Okay, and next here, resonance is hyperconjugation is a delocalization of the sigma electrons. Okay, resonance is a delocalization of pi electrons. Inductive effect is just moment of the sigma bonding electrons towards more electronegative atom. Now, if coming to the hyperconjugation, it involves delocalization of the sigma electrons. Delocalization of the sigma electrons into the p orbital. Okay, into the p orbital. Which p orbital? Vacant p orbital or off-filled p orbital and pi p orbital. Okay, that means that pi p orbital means the p orbital which form a pi bond. So that's why it is also called the sigma p resonance or sigma p delocalization. The delocalization of the CH sigma electrons into vacant p orbital or off-filled p orbital or pi p orbital. Okay, that is the pi p orbital. Pi p orbital. Okay, so now here hyperconjugation is defined as, okay, hyperconjugation is a delocalization of, okay, hyperconjugation is a delocalization of alpha CH sigma bonding electrons, alpha CH sigma bonding electrons into vacant p orbital, into vacant p orbital, into vacant p orbital, into vacant p orbital, vacant p orbital, or off-filled p orbital, off-filled p orbital, off-filled p orbital, or anti-bonding pi orbital, anti-bonding pi orbital. Okay, anti-bonding pi orbital, anti-bonding pi orbital. Anti-bonding pi orbital. Okay. Okay, it is also called as a sigma p resonance. It is also called as sigma p resonance. Okay, it is observed in, okay, it is observed in carbocations, it is observed in carbocations, free radicals and alkenes. It is observed in carbocations, free radicals and alkenes. Okay, yeah. So first here let us see in carbocations, hyperconjugation in carbocations. Here H, here CH, this one H, here CH2 plus, fast fully charged carbon has a vacant p orbital, positively charged carbon has a vacant p orbital. Here this one 3 alpha hydrogens. Okay, 3 alpha hydrogens. Okay, this carbon is alpha carbon. Whatever the carbon which is directly bonding with the positively charged carbon is considered as a alpha carbon. Now here these CH sigma electrons are delocalized. See this one. H here C, here H plus bond here CH2 here H. That means here the sigma electrons are transferred to carbon. The carbon carries a negative charge, 2 electrons, and here positive charge carbon bond formation. That means here the sigma CH electrons delocalized into the vacant p orbital, okay, of the carbocation carbon. So it is a hyperconjugated structure. Hyperconjugated structure. And this hyperconjugate structure, there is no bond between the carbon and hydrogen. There is no bond between the carbon and hydrogen. That's why it is also called the no bond resonance. Okay, no bond resonance. Now next here H, here plus, here this one hydrogen, double bond CH2, here H. Not only this CH sigma electrons, either this CH sigma electrons also involved, or either this CH sigma electrons also involved in this type of delocalization, or this one also we can write. So HC, H, double bond CH2, here H plus. Okay, that means here these three are the hyperconjugated structures. These three are the hyperconjugated structures. Okay. Here in this case actually we are calling this one as the no bond resonance because there is no bond between the carbon and hydrogen. Okay. But here there is some partial attractions between this carbon and hydrogen. It's not a complete breaking of the bond. So here in this case how many alpha hydrogens? Here 1, 2, 3. Now here hyperconjugate structures are the 3. So here the number of hyperconjugate structures equals to number of alpha hydrogens. Okay, number of alpha hydrogens. See in this case. Now here more hyperconjugate structures that implies more stable. Number of hyperconjugate structures equal higher more number of hyperconjugate structures means more number of alpha hydrogens. That cation is the more stable. So we can say the stability of the carbocation based on the hyperconjugation. Okay, stability of the carbocation we can say based on the hyperconjugation. More number of hyperconjugate structures, more stable carbocation. For suppose you see CH3 plus, this one has no alpha carbon. This one is one alpha carbon. So here CH3 here plus. Okay. Yeah. And next you see this one CH3C plus. This one tertiary butyl carbocation, secondary carbocation, primary carbocation, and this one methyl, simple carbocation. Now which is the more stable? So generally here this is the alpha hydrogen, this is the alpha hydrogen, here alpha hydrogen. So total 9 alpha hydrogens are there, 9 hyperconjugate structures possible. Here 3, 6 hyperconjugate structures possible. Here 3 alpha hydrogens are possible. Okay. So here more number of hyperconjugate structures, more stable. Okay, that's it. So next here for this one, see the previous JEE advanced question. How many hyperconjugate structures are possible for this carbocation? Okay. So number of alpha hydrogens equals to number of hyperconjugate structures. So how many hyperconjugate structures for this one? Yeah. Here in this case 3 hydrogens, here 2 hydrogens, and this is 1 hydrogen. So 6 hyperconjugate structures are possible. That one has a 6 hyperconjugate structures. Okay. It is alpha carbon, it is alpha carbon, it is alpha carbon. The carbon directly attached to the positively charged carbon is a alpha carbon. So those hydrogens are involved in a delocalization. So first suppose see this one. How many hyperconjugate structures for this one? Here plus this. How many hyperconjugate structures? Yeah. Here in this case 2 alpha hydrogens, here 2 alpha hydrogens, here 1 alpha hydrogen. Okay. The CH2 now. The CH2. This is CH2, here hydrogen. Here 2, here 2, here 1 now. That means here 5 hyperconjugate structures for this one. Okay, 5 hyperconjugate structures. For suppose see here CH2 plus, here CH3, this one CH3, this one CH3 has a 0 hyperconjugate structure. the CH2 plus and this is alpha carbon. On this alpha carbon, no hydrogen, so zero hyperconjugate structures. Okay, zero hyperconjugate structures. That's it. So next remaining, first suppose see this one. Here there is a hydrogen. This is a positive charge. Now how many hyperconjugate structures for this one? You see in this case, it is a hydrogen, it is a hydrogen. This is hydrogen. So total 3 alpha hydrogens are there, but here only 2 alpha hydrogens are involved in a hyperconjugation. This bridged hydrogens are not involved in a hyperconjugation. By the CH sigma electrons involving in hyperconjugation, this carbon gaining double bond. This carbon-carbon bond gaining double bond. So that means at the bridge-head carbon double bond is not exist. At the bridge-head carbon double bond is not exist. For suppose see in this case, let us write the hyperconjugate structure like this. This one is not exist. Okay, the hyperconjugate structures is not exist because planarity at the bridge-head position not possible. Okay, that's it. Next here see. See for this one, CH3, CH here plus C, here D and here T, this one CH3. How many hyperconjugate structures? Okay, the previous NSCC question, National Standard Examination in Chemistry. Here 3 alpha hydrogens, here deuterium, tritium, 5 hyperconjugate structures are possible. Here CD sigma electrons, CT sigma electrons are also involved in a hyperconjugation. Okay, CD, CT electrons are also involved in a hyperconjugation. Okay, first suppose here CH2 plus CH3, here CH2 plus CD3, CH2 plus and CT3. Now which is the more stable? Okay, which one is the more stable? Carbocation. So more number of hyperconjugate structures, generally that carbocation is more stable. But in this case, 3 hydrogens, 3 deuterium atoms, 3 tritium atoms. But here in this case, this one is the more stable because here in this case, CH bond is a weaker bond. No? CH bond is a weaker bond. So these CH sigma electrons are readily delocalized. That means here readily involved in a hyperconjugation. But here this CD bond is a stronger bond. Okay? Here CD bond is a stronger bond. So their involvement in hyperconjugation is very negligible. Okay? Of course that is involved. But when compared with the CH sigma electrons, this CD sigma electrons involvement is very less. Okay, so that's why here hyperconjugation effect is less for the CD3 and very less for the CT3. That's why it is less stabilized by the hyperconjugation, but this is more stabilized by the hyperconjugation. Okay, so the hyperconjugation in carbocations. Yeah, next. Hyperconjugation in free radicals. Hyperconjugation in free radicals. Okay, let's see this one. It is also like carbocations, CH2 radical. Okay, so here in this case, homolytic breaking of this bond. H here, H radical. Here double bond CH2 here H. Okay, the radical means here there is a off filled p orbital. So adjacent CH bond, adjacent CH bond is a homolytic bond breaking. Okay, so carbon with single electron, carbon with single electron. Okay, the pi bond. Here H radical. Okay, H radical. CH double bond CH2 here H. Again other possibility, either these CH sigma electrons also involved in hyperconjugation. And next HC here H double bond CH2 here H radical. That's it. So how many hyperconjugate structures again? 3 hyperconjugate structures. So here again we can explain the stability of the carbocation. Okay, more number of alpha hydrogens, more hyperconjugate structures, more stable radical, either carbocation or radical, same. Okay, but I will discuss in a separate video, stability of the carbocation and stability of the radical. But this is the concept of the hyperconjugation in radicals. Okay, that's it. Or suppose see this one. This one has a how many hyperconjugate structures? This is a radical. This one has a here 2 alpha hydrogens. Okay, this is a 2 alpha hydrogens and this is alpha hydrogen. So 5 alpha hydrogens. So 5 hyperconjugate structures possible for this one. Okay, radical. And next one more. Yeah, how many hyperconjugate structures for this one? Okay, here 3, here 3, here 1. That means here 7 hyperconjugate structures possible. Okay, yeah. So next, in alkenes, we can see the hyperconjugation in carbocations, radicals, and sorry, in alkenes. Okay, see this one again. This is the alpha carbon that is directly attached to the double bonded carbon. Alpha carbon that is directly attached to the double bonded carbon. Okay. So now here in this case, whenever these pi electrons are moving to this carbon, okay, this one gains a negative charge, this one carries a positive charge. Now here, these sigma electrons are moving to this carbon completely. So here negatively charged carbon, here positively charged carbon, pi bond formation. So H here H, this one H plus, double bond CH, CH2 minus, you are a hydrogen. That's it. Okay. So pi electrons are moving to this carbon, negative charge. Next here, positive charge. Whenever these CH sigma electrons are moving to this carbon, this one carries a negative, here positive. So we can see the pi bond. So either these CH sigma electrons or these CH sigma electrons or these CH sigma electrons can be involved in hyperconjugation. So H plus C, here H, double bond CH, CH2 minus, here H. Okay. Next here HC, H, double bond CH, CH2 minus, here H. Sorry. So again, how many hyperconjugate structures equals to number of alpha hydrogen. Okay. This is the alpha carbon. On this alpha carbon, 3 hydrogens are there. So number of hyperconjugate structures equals to again number of alpha hydrogens. Here 1, 2, 3. These 3 are the hyperconjugate structures. Now here in this case, more hyperconjugate structures. More hyperconjugate structures equals to more stable alkene. Okay, more stable alkene actually. More number of alpha hydrogens, more stable. Okay, so here let us explain the stability of the alkenes. Okay, let us explain the stability of the alkenes. Here one example: CH2 double bond CH2, CH3 CH double bond CH2. And CH3 CH double bond CH bond CH3. Okay, so these are the 3 different type of alkenes. For this one, no alpha carbon, only C double bond C. So 0 alpha hydrogens. Okay, for this one here, alpha carbon, here 3 alpha hydrogens. 3 alpha hydrogens. Here 3 alpha hydrogens, here 3 alpha hydrogens, 6 alpha hydrogens. Okay, 6 alpha hydrogens. So more hyperconjugate structures here, more stable one. Okay, so this alkene is the most stable. 2-butene is more stable than the propane. Propane is more stable than the ethane. And now here, this 2-butene is more stable than the CH3CH double bond C, H3 and this one CH3. Here 3, here 3, here 3, here 3 totally. Here alpha carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon, alpha carbon, 12 alpha hydrogens. So that is the more stable. 2,3 dimethyl 2-butene is the more stable because it has a more number of alpha hydrogens. That means more hyperconjugate structures. More hyperconjugate structures means here higher the extent of the delocalization of the sigma and pi electrons. Okay, that's it. Yeah, and next here one more important point is because of this hyperconjugation in alkenes, this double bonded carbon becomes a single bond. This double bonded carbon becomes a single bond. Okay, so here bond length increases. That means here by the hyperconjugation in alkenes, the double bond length increases. Okay, the C double bond C bond length increases. We can see clearly. So here in this case, 3 structures have the single bond character. Okay, in a 3 structures, the double bond has a single bond character. So how many alpha hydrogens here? 3 alpha hydrogens. So here 3 hyperconjugate structures possible. In 3 hyperconjugate structures, the double bond becomes a single bond. Now here with increasing more number of alpha hydrogens or with increasing more number of hyperconjugate structures, the double bond has a more single bond character. Okay. So with increasing alpha hydrogens, with increasing hyperconjugate structures, the double bond has a more single bond character. Okay. That means here in more structure the double bond became a single bond. That means here with increasing hyperconjugate structures, the double bond length increases. Okay. The double bond length increases. That is the important part. Okay. First suppose here in this case X, here Y, here Z, here W. So here C double bond, C bond length X less than Y less than Z less than W. Okay. So W has a higher bond length. The W bond, that means this C double bond C has a more bond length, because in 12 structures, okay, in 12 hyperconjugate structures, the double bond has a single bond character. Okay, the double bond is becoming single bond. That means here more bond length increases. Okay, that is also important point. And similarly here, one more example I am giving regarding this one. This pi bond, this pi bond, this pi bond. Here methyl. Here 3, here 3, here 2, here 2. Okay, that means in this case 10 alpha hydrogens. Okay, so for this double bond, 10 hyperconjugate structures possible. Okay, here 2, here 2, here 2, here 2. For this one, 8 hyperconjugate structures possible. For this one, here 2 hydrogens, here 2 hydrogens. Okay, 4 alpha hydrogens. So more hyperconjugate structures, the double bond length increase more. That means here let's say X, Y, Z. That means X less than, Y less than Z. Okay, C double bond C bond length increases with increasing hyperconjugated structures. Okay, because as a result of the delocalization of the CH sigma cross, this double bond becomes a single bond. Okay, that is the effect of the hyperconjugation on C double bond C. Yeah. So let us apply this hyperconjugation and stability of alkenes to the hydrogenation. Okay, hydrogenation. See this one. Hydrogenation. Okay. So what is the hydrogenation? Addition of the hydrogen to alkenes is a hydrogenation. Okay, in this case the released energy delta H is the heat of hydrogenation. Okay, heat of hydrogenation. Okay, so addition of the hydrogen to the alkenes or alkynes. This process is called the hydrogenation. During this reaction, the released energy is known as the heat of hydrogenation. Okay, so this is actually exothermic. Okay, this is actually exothermic. That means here negative. Delta H is negative. So here in this case we can say more heat of hydrogenation means more negative value. More negative delta H value. Okay, more negative delta H value. Now here, which alkenes have more heat of hydrogenation? Which alkenes have lower heat of hydrogenation? You see in this case, heat of hydrogenation inversely proportional to stability. Heat of hydrogenation inversely proportional to stability. First suppose see this case 1-butene, cis-2-butene and trans-2-butene. Okay, this is the A, this is the B, this is the C. So which is the most stable? Stability. Here 2 alpha hydrogens, here 3, 6 alpha hydrogens, here 3, 6 alpha hydrogens. Okay. But here in this case cis and trans, which is most stable? Trans most stable. So here A less than, B less than C. So then immediately heat of hydrogenation must be A greater than, B greater than C. Okay. The less stable component has a more heat of hydrogenation. So first suppose this can be explained in a graphical representation. Okay. So in this case, which was the higher energy? 1-butene. Okay. A, the compound A has a higher energy. Next B. Let us take B. Let us take B. And next here C. But here the product is, for suppose if H2 is added to the 1-butene, 2-butene or 6-trans-2-butene, we will get the N-butane. The product energy is same. Okay, product energy same. That is the N-butane. Okay, that is N-butane. So here in this case, this is the process. Yeah. So here in this case, this one has a lower energy. This one has a lower energy. This one has a higher energy. And this one has a very higher energy. So very less stable alkene release more amount of the energy. Because the energy difference between the product and reactant is very large. Now here for trans-2-butene and the product, energy difference is very less. So here this much of energy is released during the hydrogenation. For the 1-butene, this much of energy is released. Okay, that means here less stable alkene, more heat of hydrogenation. More heat of hydrogenation. That means that has a more negative value of hydrogenation. Okay, that's it. So here heat of hydrogenation inversely proportional to stability. So first suppose see this one. Yeah, another one. First suppose CH3CH double bond CH2 and CH3CH double bond CH3. Okay, here A, this one is a B, and this one is C. Okay, and this one is a T. Now which one is the higher heat of hydrogenation? Which one is the higher heat of hydrogenation? So here in this case only 3 alpha hydrogens, here 6 alpha hydrogens, here 3, here 3, here 3, 9 alpha hydrogens. For this sum 3, here 3, here 3, here 3, 12 alpha hydrogens. More stable, least heat of hydrogenation. A has a higher heat of hydrogenation. Now here in this case A less than, B less than, C less than D, because D is more stable, so very least heat of hydrogenation. Okay, less stable alkene has a higher heat of hydrogenation. Okay, less stable alkene has a higher heat of hydrogenation. Okay, that's it. Yeah, first suppose you can say heat of hydrogenation. Here benzene, pi bond, this is the pi bond. Which one has a higher heat of hydrogenation? The benzene is aromatic, more stable, so that's why that has a lower heat of hydrogenation. Lower heat of hydrogenation. Okay, and next for suppose see this one. This is a conjugated system. This pi bond, it's a non-conjugated system. Okay, here conjugated, these two are not conjugated. So here in this case, this is a less stable, that has a higher heat of hydrogenation. Higher heat of hydrogenation. For suppose benzene, this one, pi bond, this one. Here there is a conjugation with the benzene ring, but there is no conjugation with the benzene ring. So that's why this one has a higher heat of hydrogenation. That is a less stable compound. Okay, less stable compound. Okay, next another one, combustion. Okay, combustion. Heating of the organic compound with oxygen is a combustion process. Okay, here delta HCl, that is nothing but again negative. Here during the combustion reaction of the hydrocarbons, the more amount of the energy released, that is known as the heat of combustion. Okay, so here all hydrocarbons release large amount of the heat of combustion. That's why all hydrocarbons are using as a fuel. Okay, so now again here in this case, which compounds have higher heat of combustion? Which compounds have higher heat of combustion? Here heat of combustion, let us apply for the alkenes only, because here we can discuss the stability of the alkenes by the hyperconjugation. So here also same, heat of combustion, okay, delta Hc, okay, heat of combustion, or you see in this case, heat of combustion is inversely proportional to stability actually. Stability. If molecular weight is same, if molecular weight is same, or heat of combustion directly proportional to molecular weight. That means in this case, see, heat of combustion, okay, CH2 double bond CH2 and CH3 CH double bond CH2 and CH3CH, double bond CH and CH. So which one has a higher heat of combustion? This one has a higher heat of combustion. You see here, it is a A, this one is a B, this one is a C. So first of all, let us write the stability of these alkenes. A less than, B less than C. Yes, C is more stable because more number of alpha hydrogens. 3, here 3, 6. Here 3 alpha hydrogens, 6, that means 3 hyperconjugate structures. Now heat of combustion directly proportional to molecular weight. So higher the molecular weight, higher the heat of combustion. Now heat of hydrogenation, A less than, B less than C. Heat of hydrogenation is independent of the molecular weight. Just the heat of hydrogenation inversely proportional to the stability. Okay, but here heat of combustion is different. Heat of combustion is different. With increasing molecular weight, heat of combustion increases. Okay, or suppose another example, see. Yeah, here this one. Yeah, then this one, yeah. Yeah, there are 3 alkenes. There is A, B, C. There is the last year, this year, the JEE mains question in I think in March or February session. Okay, now here, stability. Let us write the stability. Okay, A is more stable and B is C is least stable because a trans double bond, trans double bond, trans double bond, cis double bond, cis double bond, cis double bond. That is stability actually. Now here, heat of hydrogenation, A less than, B less than C. Because same molecular weight, of course, heat of hydrogenation is independent of the molecular weight. Now coming to the heat of combustion, here all these 3 have same molecular weight. So inversely proportional to stability. So A less than, B less than C. Okay, heat of combustion. Heat of combustion of the alkenes. Okay, with increasing molecular weight, heat of combustion increases. If molecular weight is same, that is inversely proportional to stability. Okay, yeah. And for suppose see this one, 1-butene, cis-2-butene, trans-2-butene. Okay, here A, B, C. Yes, stability, you know this one. A less than, B less than C. So heat of hydrogenation, A greater than, B greater than C. Here heat of combustion, again A greater than, B greater than C. Inversely proportional to stability. Okay, that's it. But suppose here, adding one compound, D, adding one compound, 2,3-dimethyl 2-butene. So which is more stable? D is more stable because 3, here 3, here 3, here 3. 12 alpha hydrogens, more hyperconjugate structures. Now heat of hydrogenation is less stable, so leaves the heat of hydrogenation. Leaves the heat of hydrogenation. But if coming to the heat of combustion, the D has a higher heat of combustion. Because first 3 compounds have same molecular weight, but compound D has a very higher molecular weight. So first of all, this one has a higher dipole moment. Sorry, higher heat of combustion. Next, coming to these 3, same molecular weight, less stable compound has a higher heat of combustion. Okay, so that is the difference between the heat of combustion and the heat of hydrogenation. Yeah. So next, let us discuss the hyperconjugation in alkyl benzene. Okay, you see in this case, CH, this one H, here H, this 5 bond, this 5 bond, this 5 bond. Okay. Here this CH sigmoidochrome delocalized into the benzene. That means here this methyl group also donating group increase the electron density at ortho and para positions. Okay. The double bond CH, this one H plus 5 bond here nitrogen. Okay. Here CH sigmoidochrons are delocalized into the benzene ring. As a result, that electron density increases at ortho position and para position. So here the CH3 is also electron donating group. Electron donating group by the hyperconjugation, or also By the inductive effect also, it is electron donating group. That is transfer sigma bonding electrons towards more electronegative atom sp2 carbon. So that is acting as a plus side group. Now here in this case, by the hyperconjugation also, this alkyl group increases the electron density. So we can say it is an electron donating group. Okay. So this effect, this type of effect in alkyl benzene is called as a plus H effect. Plus H effect. That means here positive hyperconjugation. Positive hyperconjugation. As a result, electron density increases on the benzene. Now here, the plus M group also increases electron density at ortho and para positions. Okay, plus M group also increases electron density at ortho para positions. But here, this OH is a strong donating group than the CH3 because it is a transfer of the sigma electrons, but here transfer of the non-bonding electrons. These are the easily available electrons. They are the loosely bonding electrons. That means those are the non-bonding electrons. Okay. So here readily transferred into the benzene ring. But here in this case CH sigma electrons are the bonding electrons. So their involvement into the benzene ring is very less extent. Of course it is a donating group, but its donating nature when compared with the plus M group OH, NH2, OCS3 like that is very less. Donating nature less than the plus M groups. Okay. Plus M groups are the electron donating groups. Here plus H group is also electron donating group, but plus M group is a strong electron donating group than the plus H group. Okay, because here transfer of the bonding electrons is less extent, but here transfer of the non-bonding electrons that is a more extent, that means easily delocalized. Okay, so this is called as a positive hyperconjugation. Positive hyperconjugation effect. Okay. Simply plus the H effect. Plus H effect. So here alkyl groups are called as a plus H groups. You see in this case CH3. At least one alpha hydrogen must be there. CH3. CH3 twice. Okay. These are all the plus H groups. Plus H group. Here in this case 3 hydrogens available. 2 hydrogens here only. 1 hydrogen. That means you see this one CH, yes, CH3, this one CH3. Only 1 hydrogen is available. Only 1 hydrogen. Okay. So less extent of hyperconjugation. Here 2 hydrogens, more extent of hyperconjugation. Here very higher extent of hyperconjugation. Because 3 hydrogens are available. Okay. So here electron donating strength. That means here plus H effect. Plus H effect higher for the methyl. And next ethyl. And next CH, CH3 twice. Okay? That's it. For tertiary butyl, no hyperconjugation. For tertiary butyl group, no hyperconjugation. CH3, this one CH3, CH3. No alpha hydrogen, no hyperconjugation. No H effect. Of course, only inductive effect is okay. But tertiary butyl group is a very strong plus side group. But if coming to the hyperconjugation, its hyperconjugation effect is 0. Okay, then attached to the benzene ring. Okay. So first suppose here let us check the pi electron density, which is strong donating group actually. Let's see in this case benzene ring. Here NH2 and here CH3. CH2, CH3, tertiary butyl group, okay, and 1 electron withdrawing group, minus M group. So which one is the higher pi electron density? Here NH2 attached benzene has a higher pi electron density because there is a plus M group, strong donating group. Now it is a minus M group, that decreases electron density. Now here CH3, CH2. That means ethyl group, here tertiary butyl group. This one has 3 alpha hydrogens, more extent of hyperconjugation, more electron density. Next here 2 alpha hydrogens, so forth. Here no hyperconjugation. Of course it is a strong plus side group, but here hyperconjugation is the more stabilizing factor, more effectiveness than the inductive effect. Resonance is more effective than the hyperconjugation. Hyperconjugation is more effective than the inductive effect. Okay. because here resonance and hyperconjugation involves delocalization of the electron, but inductive effect just the movement of the sigma electron. That's the inductive effect cannot play a significant role. Okay, the hyperconjugation and mesomeric effect. Then the hyperconjugation mesomeric effect of resonance plays a significant role. So in this case only plus sign, only plus sign. By the plus sign effect slightly increase electron density. So 5 and then here 1 and then 6. Okay, because it is a minus n group decrease the electron density. Okay, so that is a hyperconjugation in alkyl benzene. So methyl group is also electron donating group. That donating nature is explained by the hyperconjugation. Okay, no? Donating nature is explained by the hyperconjugation. Okay, so here in this case, its donating nature is also working at ortho position, para position, but there is no electron density increasing at meta position. Okay, no? Like plus m effect and minus m effect is working at ortho para position. Similarly, here also that hyperconjugation effect is working at the ortho position and para position. Okay. Yeah. Next, finally, reverse hyperconjugation. Reverse hyperconjugation. Okay. So this reverse hyperconjugation means minus H effect or negative hyperconjugation. Okay, negative hyperconjugation. So generally you know this CH, here H, C double bond C. Here these CH sigma electrons are delocalized into the C double bond C, pi bond. Now here, whenever this is a more electronegative atom like chlorine, here these pi electrons are delocalized into the carbon-chlorine bond. Here chlorine is more electronegative, so that carbon-chlorine bonding electrons are transferred into the chlorine itself. So as a result here, Cl, this is Cl negative charge, double bond C, and C here plus and Cl. It is a reverse hyperconjugation. Okay, that is what minus H effect. Okay, so now here, whenever this CCl3 is attached to the, when this CCl3 is attached to the benzene, again here that pi electron density is transferred into the CCl3 group. That means here CCl3 acting as a electron withdrawing group. We can see like NO2 and aldehyde group and CN group, the CCl3 acting as electron withdrawing group by the reverse hyperconjugation. Okay, so these electrons are transferred into the chlorine actually. Okay, so if C plus, then pi electrons transferred to this carbon, negative charge, so pi bond. And this one carries a positive charge, Cl minus. So you see in this case, the positive charge rising at the ortho position and para position. Positive charge rising at the ortho position and para position. Okay, that means it is electron withdrawing group. Its electron withdrawing nature is explained on the basis of the hyperconjugation. Nothing but reverse hyperconjugation and negative hyperconjugation effect. Okay, that's it. Now here in this case, the CCl3 and CBr3, we can say they are the minus H groups, minus H groups. These are also electron withdrawing groups. Their electron withdrawing group is explained on the basis of the reverse hyperconjugation. Of course here, regarding the inductive effect, this one also minus I group. This one also minus I group. Okay? So now here in this case, for suppose, which is a strong minus H group. Here, strength of minus H group, strength of minus H group. Here CCl3, here CH, Cl2, CH2Cl. Okay? So that minus H effect is higher for the CCl3 because there are the 3 chlorines available for reverse hyperconjugation. But here in this case, only 1 chlorine is available for the reverse hyperconjugation. Okay? So minus H effect is higher for the CCl3. Okay? So generally here, that CF3 minus H effect is negligible actually. CF3 minus H effect is negligible because this carbon-fluorine bond is a very stronger bond. That carbon-fluorine bond is a stronger bond, so its reverse hyperconjugation effect very less. CH3. But it is a very strong minus side group. It is a very strong minus side group than the CCl3. Okay. So here also the CCl3 acting as a electron withdrawing group. That electron withdrawing group is explained by the reverse hyperconjugation that decreases electron density at ortho position and para positions, but not working at the meta position. Okay, that is about the hyperconjugation totally. Okay, so from next video we will start the applications of the electronic effects, that is the stability of the carbocation, stability of the radical, stability of the carbanion, acidic nature of alcohols, phenols, carboxylic acids, and basic nature of amides.